straight out to our left now. Now the waves will crash over that point often enough to clean the pools out. You just don't want to be there on pool cleaning day. About a year ago, there were 2 guys that got washed off of there. One of them, they found one of them, or rescued one of them, couldn't find the other one. So after having flown for the fire department for about 3.5 years doing the mountain and ocean rescues, my only advice to people is don't turn your back on the ocean. If there was a sign to that effect at the airport and people paid attention to it, it sure would save a lot of heartbreak and save the fire department a lot of work. So enjoy the ocean while you're here. Just be mindful of its power and its inhabitants. To our left here is Nakalele Point. About a quarter mile back from the point there's a place called the Blowhole. That's where the waves slam into the entrance of a lava tube, and it compresses the air and water in there and shoots out a vent in the back. Way out to our left, you can see the Ritz-Carlton and Kapalua and the Plantation Golf Course.
How much do some of these homes sell for, the ones that are like right on the beach?
Oh,
ballpark.
Probably 10 to 15 million, some of them. My friend just bought a house, signed the papers yesterday. Kind of a nice but nondescript neighborhood, and you know, at the edge of a golf course over near Kihei for $980,000 at 18 square foot. So, prices of houses are a little expensive here. Ready, we're now crossing the Pailolo Channel from Maui to Molokai. Molokai ahead of us is the 5th largest island in the Hawaiian archipelago. It's got a population of about 8,000 people, and 40% of the people on Molokai are direct descendants of Hawaiians, which is something to be able to claim. Especially when you consider that when Europeans first showed up in Hawaii, there were about 1.2 million Hawaiians throughout the Hawaiian Islands. And over a period of about 60 years, they were reduced in number to less than 15,000 through disease and warfare. So the fact that the Hawaiian language is still spoken and that the Hawaiian culture still exists is a miracle and testament to the will and the resolve of the Hawaiian people to survive. What a lot of people don't realize is that languages and cultures are at a higher extinction rate than anything else on the planet. About once every 3 weeks, an elder dies speaking the last words of their language, and with them go the nuances of how they describe their environment, their culture, their belief systems, their plant medicines. Everything gets lost with them. So the fact that the Hawaiian language is still spoken and that the Hawaiian culture still exists is a miracle and testament to the will and the resolve of the Hawaiian people to survive. What a lot of people don't realize is that languages and cultures are at a higher extinction rate than anything else on the planet. About once every 3 weeks, an elder dies speaking the last words of their language. And with them go the nuances of how they describe their environment, their culture, their belief systems, their plant medicines. Everything gets lost with them. So the fact that we still have the Hawaiian culture and the Hawaiian language is an asset to the diversity of humanity. And there's a lot we can learn from the Hawaiians. They were, as Captain Cook noted in 1778, he said that they were master ecologists, that they had the land cultivated from the mountaintops to the ocean shores, and they were indeed master stewards of the land and ocean resources. And the reason that they are such savvy environmentalists is because they were the descendants of over 200 generations of people who had spanned out through the Pacific Islands and who had colonized a multitude of those islands along the way. And they had varying degrees of success or failure with those colonizations based on their relationship to the environment. A bad example would be Easter Island, which was once covered with the largest species of palm trees in the world. The only way that we know that today is because of casts of those palm trees left behind in the lava flows. When those early inhabitants first got to Easter Island, they used those palm trees to make canoes to go and hunt dolphins, which was one of their main sources of protein. But they got so caught up in their power struggles and their collective dementia, building those big stone heads or moai, and coating them with a mixture of ash and clay, that eventually they ended up cutting down the last tree and burning it for that purpose. So by the time Europeans showed up on Easter Island, there were about 450 inhabitants left, and they had resorted to cannibalism in the process. That was the bad end of the spectrum. The good end of the spectrum were the Hawaiian Islands, where they had no food security issues. In fact, they had better food security over 300 years ago than we have today.
Less I comprehend about our purpose and place, and maybe if there was a clearer line, the curiosity would satisfy. Time-based prophecies have kept me from living in the moment. I'm struggling to trust the divinity of all the gods and what the hell they have planned for us. I cry for the creatures who get left behind, but everything will change in the blink of an eye. And if you wish to survive, you will find the guide inside.
Coming up to our left here is Halawa Valley. This used to be the most populated place on Molokai when Europeans first showed up. And for good reason. There's a great anchorage for the canoes here and a consistent freshwater stream for drinking water and agriculture.
Go back and forth every single day. The clarity comes to me in the choppy waves. The feelings and the places and the seasons change. The galaxies remain. Energy fields pulling a body to space. The angels that accomplish in the spiritual waste. The hate that gets me displaced from my spiritual pace. Tenfold the mana when the planets are in place in polar alignment. We're on assignment. Bodies on consignment. Return them to the circus. And what is the purpose? What is the purpose? And would you believe it? Would you believe it if you knew what you were for and how you became so informed? Bodies have been.
In the distance ahead of us, you can see that peninsula of land. That's Kalapapa. You may have read about that or heard about that. That's where the victims of Hansen's disease or leprosy were exiled in the 1800s. They used to be taken there by the boatload and thrown overboard, made to swim to shore through the breakers. If they survived that ordeal, they were left to fend for themselves, trapped by the cliffs. That started in 1866, and after about 3 years of that happening, a Catholic priest by the name of Father Damien showed up. He was their advocate, helped them organize their community, and cared for them. And he was recently canonized as a saint by the Catholic Church for his efforts with the lepers of Molokai, as was the Catholic nun who assisted him, Sister Marianne Cope. Try again.
I just said that's beautiful.
Coming up on some waterfalls here called Papalua Falls. Comes down about 1,900 feet in a series of falls. The first drop is about 1,440 feet, making it the third highest waterfall in Hawaii. How did y'all fare in Harvey in Houston there?
We were fine, but we had lots of friends that lost a lot. So.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. When I was a kid living in Corpus Christi, I think it was 1972, it was Hurricane Celia. Took the roof off our house and flooded our streets and all that stuff. It's pretty intense. That's why I was kind of curious when they were talking about Irma that they hadn't had any storms that had 185 mile an hour winds. In Hurricane Celia, they were blowing over 200.
Each day that I wake, I give thanks, I give thanks. And the day that I do wake up and transcend all the makeup, I am capable, I am powerful. The day that I do wake up and transcend all